Hello everybody, welcome to the fourth question for the Chevening, which is career plan. In this video clip, which is the second part actually, we will go and have a review of how we are going to write the fourth question. Who am I? If you don't know me, I am Sirat Haidari. I am a current Chevening Scholar. I'm studying L.L.M at the Aberdeen University, International Commercial Law. I'm going to share my personal statement with you, and I'm going to write it from scratch so that I explain every and each part so that you can learn to write your own thing. And I will also share my complete Chevening application to everyone, and I hope it helps you achieve your Chevening dream. The goal of these videos is to help grow the Chevening network, and I wish you all watching this video to be with me and us together in the Chevening alumni and Chevening network in total. Okay, let's go on and start by working on the Chevening fourth question, career plan. The first thing, if you watch my videos, you will always see that the first thing I normally do is to break down the question. So we break down the question, we did in the first part, in this part we do it again, and then we will do a brainstorming before we write the Chevening essay, and also write the conclusion and review it and finalize it. So the first thing, as I always do, is to read and break it down. Chevening is looking for individuals who have a post-study career plan. So we have to write post-study career plan, and please outline. We have to outline immediate plans. Immediate plans, as you all know it, it's a short-term goal. And then we write returning home and your long-term plans or goals. Okay, and you may wish to consider how these relate to what the UK government is doing in your country. I said UK policy in your country. So these are other important things to consider when you are answering the fourth question. So we break it down, and now we are going to work on how we can develop the question. The first thing is what we want to do. In the first video we did a brainstorm. That's something I want to do again here. We do a brainstorm, and we gather all our ideas, our plans, and things we would like to do in order to complete this. First, I want to do the brainstorm, and then we can go to the already written answer for this question, and then we can revise it and write the conclusion, and then revise it, and then we will be done with the second part. That means by the end of this video you are going to have a very great career plan essay for your Chevening application. So the brainstorm part, what we need to do, we have to write anything that is that we want to add as our future plans. For example, in brainstorm, what I want to do is it's good to write a short background of your profession, something that you write about your profession, what you have done, and what are the problems in the community, what you can do to resolve the problem. Before that, we say what are the steps or actions taken for the problem that you want to do and become in the future, to have your plans to resolve them. What you can do to resolve the problem currently, what you want to gain or learn to resolve the problem. These are things we need to talk and discuss. explanations, lack of solution or steps taken. And we also talk about then we like make them short term goals and long term goals and conclusion. So this is something how and what we need to do. I want to write the conclusion as a title, which we have to write for the next video. So conclusion for this part, it's important. I want to highlight it unlike my other videos, because I believe the conclusion of the fourth question is like a conclusion to all your essays. That's why it's very important. I think I will put a little bit emphasize and maybe more time on conclusion of the fourth essay. Other important thing regarding to all these steps that we need to do to brainstorm on these things, I would like to also talk remove the conclusion from here. So other things that I want to do for short-term and long-term goals is that for short-term goals, upon my return, I want to write that I will keep the networking, or maybe the Chevening networking. This is going to help you keep the network with the other cohorts in your country, Cheveners in your country, at the same time that you were studying together, and also the Chevening alumni in your country, and also the other Cheveners from the neighboring countries, the region, and or international level. Other thing is that you will have networking, maybe projects, initiatives, or ideas to keep the network together even more than it currently is. You can for the short-term goals is to, for example, keep writing research papers, academic papers, articles, journals, and etc. That's another thing that you will be, you can say that you can do in your short-term goals to write. And the long-term goals, you can say, for example, I wrote in my paper, lack of arbitration or commercial law books, not commercial, international commercial law books in my language. And the solution to this problem is that I will be working to write books. It doesn't have to be books. I just say books, articles, academic papers, essays, whatever. Okay, so long-term goals is like this. We have lack of professors in arbitration. So the solution is that I will be looking to pursue my PhD in the in my long-term goals. So I don't have to write in my long-term goals. Or I can also say that okay, writing articles, that's something I got it. Keeping writing research paper, academic. Okay, so I wrote this twice actually, but it doesn't matter. So this is something we do it on a very small scale, but this is on a long-term and long scale. That's why I wrote it in two places. And for short-term goals, you can for long-term goals you can also maybe let's write for short-term and then we can expand it for the long-term goals. For short-term we say free workshops of your field, whatever it is. For example, what I did was that I will be holding because I'm a law student, so I will be helping lawyers, law students, current students in my country. It's more easy for me because I have the space, I have the venue, I have the rooms, office, and everything. So I will be holding moot court competitions, legal writing workshops, academic writing workshops, legal English because workshops, because you know what, I studied in the UK, so I learned more, you know, legal terminologies in English compared to the time I didn't come here. So this is going to help me because I have the venue, I have the place. So I will be holding okay, and then I can say oh, I have to write them now, all free. The reason why all free is because I'm not like making a course for sale or something. I'm just helping the community. So these are the things I can do, and in the long term I can say so this is for law, and the next question will also be on law, but then we can do a brainstorm for every field, so that this video is not helping only those lawyers but everybody. So and the long-term goals, I will say that I will keep myself involved in moods and okay, first I write the lack of practical law programs, and then the solution is that I will keep myself involved in moods, legal workshops, free or volunteer legal workshops, and etc. So let's do a little brainstorm for all fields like we did in the last part of the previous video. So pretend you are so we just put other fields here, and then we do the brainstorming. Pretend you are a doctor, you're a surgeon, you're an eye, as we said, an eye doctor who are treating eyes. I don't know the exact name in English. Or you are a dentist. What you can do in your short-term or long-term goals, so I combine them here together. I leave it to you to decide where you want to put in the short-term and long-term goals. It's, for example, you say, okay, because we're all coming mostly from developing countries and we really need to help our society do a lot of volunteer work and build, you know, volunteerism and this culture in our communities. So you would say, as a doctor or nurse or dentist or whatever, you will be holding free camps, free eye test camps. You just you work for the other communities, you hold a high free eye test camp for people, or you say free dentist camp. You don't have to do it your whole life. You don't have to work for free, because everybody needs to, you know, have a stable financial income. But every now and then you can plan to go to a remote area in your country to do a free dentist camp to help the people, those who has you know, problems with their teeth, eye, health, anything. Or you say, as an engineer, maybe you can hold a free call it civil engineering camp or whatever. Or if you are a human rights activist, you can say that you will be involved in a cause that, whatever it is, it's a corruption that you want to work for it, or is it a human rights campaign that you want to work for it, or any other thing. So these are other you know, volunteer and long-term goals that you can say you want to do in the short-term goals, that three other things. And then in the longer terms, you say that you want to be a PhD or anything. Now comes the most important point. I want to give explanation that background of your profession, what are the problems in the community. So I explained these parts for myself. A short-term background of my profession, I would say working in legal, commercial, dispute resolution field. And then it's like arbitration, mediation, or normally we call it ADR. What are the problems in our community? The problems in my community, which you should find it based on anything that is in your community. Why it doesn't work? For example, corruption in the courts, state courts, lack of access to courts, caseload in the courts, time consumption, high time or too much time consumption. These are the problems that we have in the court, and a lot more. So in your field, if you are an engineer, if you are an environmental activist, if you're a doctor, there are always problems in those fields that we are working. So what are the problems in the community? You say, okay, my career plan is that I want to study this because currently my short background is that I work for alternative dispute resolution. What are the problems in the community? The problems are, okay, with the state courts are corrupted, there are problems, there is caseload, it's time consuming, it's costly, it's very costly, for example, and anything. If you are in health, you can talk about the health problems. If you are working for the environment, engineering, computer, if it's lack of education for coding and computer science and computer knowledge, anything. So this is the way how you write it down. And then explanation, lack of solution steps. It doesn't mean that there is a lack of problem. For example, you don't have water and nobody is doing nothing about it. There is something currently done by the government, by the NGOs, by the international organization, neighboring countries, your people, volunteer, activists. So write those things. I say explanation, lack of solution, steps taken. Currently, for example, for my field that I want to get expertise, the government hires foreigners as legal advisors to the government. And important projects like TOPI and others. I don't write the others. You can watch my other video where I talk about all the projects. My previous video, this part 1. So I talk about these problems. So okay, the government takes foreigners and as advisors. Why? Because we don't have local experts. That's why I want to study to become an expert to work for them. This is what you can say that explanation or lack of solutions is steps taken, or the government works on projects but are going slow because of the problems with the regulations drafting. So the government works, but it's going slow. This can also be a problem and also a step taken by the government. So you can give more explanations. For example, if there's lack of water, what these people are doing and what's still missing in that puzzle that you want to be an expert to resolve that problem. Okay, what are the steps taken for the problem? This is, you can say, okay, for now there are, for example, many, I say, Afghans studying to learn and resolve the problem, which I can explain more this and the paper. I have already talked about this, so I don't want to explain more. What you can do to resolve the problem. So I said in my paper that I am currently deputy director in the Afghanistan Chamber of Commerce. So I'm a deputy director there working for dispute resolution already. That's what I do currently. I want to learn more to institutionalize arbitration in my country. What does it do? What does it help to do, like institutionalized arbitration? This, or maybe if you have more, you say these help to attract foreign investment, foreign and domestic investment in the country. Okay, so and then I also work for the piece. So you say, okay, a short background, what you do, and then what are the problems in this is only one problem explanation for one problem, but this is not it, because I was talking about working for the caseload for the courts. I was working for peace, and I was working for foreign investment and sustainable developments in my country. So 4 major issues. This is only one of them that I've explained. So I can say that if I do for ADR or for maybe justice, this is only one of them. And then for B, I was working for peace. Then I talk about how economic development can bring peace. And then I talk about sustainable development. I said that currently Afghanistan relies on international donors. We don't have income, we have money, our problems are resolved as we say, talked with the steps taken. But I say currently Afghanistan relies on international donors, on the US, on the UK and other countries to give us money to help us survive. We are not doing anything. If they don't help us, we don't have peace. So this relates back to here, because we don't have no economic independency. Okay, so this is how we say about sustainable development. And the 4th was attract foreign and domestic investment. So this case is actually it's ADR thing is the 4th, so I wrote it the other way, but it doesn't matter. You get the idea, especially if you follow the first part. So attract foreign and domestic investment because of the ADR. If we provide ADR, if we have peace for the people, and also sustainable development. Of course, sustainable development will help us little to support the foreign investment, but these 2 other parts are important that will help to achieve all 3 or 4 goals. This is how we relate all our career plan or post-study career plan, that okay, I will study, I will come, and these are the problems, I will be working for these things. So how can I achieve all these things? By by having these other goals, like I said, okay, these are the steps currently taken by the government. I will be resolving these problems by working for this sector, and also I will be doing extra things like doing volunteer work and all these things, that we can help the people as well to have sustainable developments in these things. So for other fields, we come down. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible to help everybody learn something. But still, I know, and I highly recommend everybody, if you find these videos very long, compared to like a month ago I was making 10 minutes videos. This is very important. I had already explained that if you want to win Chevening Scholarship, a prestigious platform that in total it will cost I think £100,000, you cannot win this scholarship by just watching 10-minute video or not investing your time. It's not just about watching, but you need to invest time for this scholarship. And watching these long videos, this one that gets me a very long time. Pretend if I'm recording only one question, and each question, it was like 2 hours so far. 2 hours recording, editing, uploading, and then reviewing and making sure everything is okay, and talking for 10 hours making all these questions. it has been tough for me to record it compared to you just watching the video and following along with me and writing your own thing, because this is not easy. You cannot just have a a winning personal statement or essay questions just if you sleep and wake up in the morning. So excuse me for the long videos, but the goal is to help as many people as possible who are watching and following these videos. So that's why we have all these long videos, and here I still want to do a little brainstorm with more fields we would like to write here. For example, okay, and other things that you have done, before I forget this, a short background of your profession and achievements, I would say, okay? And then in here you also talk about your articles, or write about the articles you already published. Be careful with the word published, not written. Nobody cares what you have written if it's on paper, at one of your shelves or drawers at home, or in a folder in your computer where you cannot find it. I have also the same problem. I have 5 published articles. 3 are related to my fields, and 2 are not. Which I'm going to share, write the names here. The ones, one is commercial arbitration in Afghanistan, impact of the WTO on developing countries like Afghanistan. It's not actually like, it's like this, Afghanistan. And mediation and arbitration process in Afghanistan, and 2 more. So these are my articles, which I think are very important to, if you have any articles, it's good to put it in your career plan to show that you have done something. But it's all you cannot just say that you have written articles, because in the interview they will ask you to talk about it. At least they did me. They asked me what my articles were about, where were they published, and why I wrote them, and what were I was giving explanations. And if you don't have if you have written articles but it's not published, nobody cares. And I highly encourage you not to write it down if you have, because in my application at the end of it I had the link for all of them. Not all of them, because they were all published. At least all 3 were published in one place. So I put the link there to show that, okay, or link you call it, or URL. So you cannot just say, well, I have written hundreds of articles but they are on my desk. So okay, nobody cares. That's not an article, that's just a note for you. I have a few articles that I was waiting, or I have been waiting to talk with friends, with experts, with professors, to give them so that they review it before I send it for publication. And then I got busy, I didn't do it, so I cannot talk about it. Actually, I have more than 25 written articles, but not published ones. So I cannot say that I've written 25. I just say, well, I have written only 5, because I can share it. I have the link, and it's accepted in a publication. So this is also important, that that we have to write everything in these things. And whenever when you are brainstorming, always refer everything back to this immediate plans, long-term plans, and you make an outline like we did. We have to have a good outline of everything. And then UK policy in your country, which we will talk about it later. And post study, it should be after, when you return to in the future, of course. These are important things. And so far we are good. The only thing we would do is to do a little brainstorm here for other fields. We say that, okay, when we are brainstorming to do for other fields, like we say you work for a cause or something, we say, like, I don't know what you call it. Maybe if you're a doctor, nurse, or something, you call it health camp. for children, or for women, or I don't know, poor communities. These are the initiatives you can do. Or if you are learning code, you are a coder, or you are, you know, IT or computer science field. I just don't want to mix up things here, but I say, for example, coding for kids. Your short-term goals immediately when you return to your country is to work for coding for kids. Or if you have a community that is a little bit conservative, like say you don't have facilities for women. If you are women, you say coding for girls. You can work on such kind of projects that help your people. Or if you're even in the doctor, we say we have women, we say projects or camping for girls health care or something. So I'm giving you very good names and initiatives to start your projects. Even if you don't win the Chevening Scholarship this year, by, you know, having these kind of things for the future, you can already start working on them by the time you go to the UK. Or if you don't win next year, when you apply, and by the time you go to the UK or come to the UK after 2 years, you can, you know, think about these projects that we are brainstorming right now. So these projects will help you to start something after you submit your application, and in 2 years you already have a project as small as it might be. You help 6 people, that's worth it. That's, at least you do something for your people, your community, as a volunteer in your society, and it's worth mentioning it. And of course, nothing can be nothing can you cannot do anything that would help thousands of people immediately for free, but everything starts small. It's like, you know, the river is made of drops. The same thing, you can do it actually. Or maybe we do some a lot of free network, not networking, you say free coding projects, free, for example, if you are studying healthcare, yoga, meditation, this kind of stuff, you say free yoga, meditation, nutrition, or I don't know, swimming classes, courses, whatever you call it. We said I test for healthcare. We said yes, I test the notes I have here. And well, I think I already gave you some good ideas to think and work regarding how you can brainstorm to learn more things, how you can, you know, add everything in your paper. So far, this is enough. I think we read almost 2 pages of brainstorming, writing so many ideas that you can think for your career plans and future plans. In the first part, we talked about, we already wrote a lot regarding our 4th question. Here it is what we have already written about everything, and this is the short-term goals, and then it's the long-term goals, and now we are writing the conclusion, which is very important. And because the reason why conclusion is important, as I said, it's the conclusion of all 4 questions almost. So let's just review everything. We check the wording, we make sure that we write it in the best way possible, and then we write a good conclusion, and then we will end this video. So let's start. I work at the ACDR to help the business community and legal community as a young leader. So I changed the words and make it better, but this is not finalized, but still it's better. I joined. I joined ACDR as the Deputy Director, which is the only trustable sector for commercial dispute resolution outside commercial courts of Afghanistan. for both local and international investors and businessmen. The reason why I wrote this very quickly is because this is my work, for example, and I had been working for 2 years in this office. So me writing as fast as complete in a very short term is possible. You know why? Because this is my work. If I don't know my work, it's a shame. And be careful that you will be asked whatever you write here. This should be literally your work. As I already explained, that my fellow Afghans who are working for the same field, please don't think you can copy paste this essay that I have written in your application and you will be a winner, because Chevening has copies of all the personal statements, and the system will automatically detect if you plagiarize. So the reason why I say anything you write, it should be yours, it should be correct, it should be right. Otherwise, if you submit something that you have copy pasted, or if it's wrong and in the interview you cannot give explanations for them, or if you cannot prove it when submitting your background or your essay with your CV and you don't have proof of it, think about those times that you should not be blacklisted from the UK even to enter UK for the next 5 years, 10 years or something. So this is important that you know what you're saying. Don't tell lies, okay? Tell whatever you know and whatever you are. To help the business and lead as a young leader, I joined ACDR as the deputy. As a young leader, I joined ACDR, so I removed this part. So I have to talk again about ACDR and the please don't use abbreviations. The reason why I use abbreviation without writing the complete name is because in my first, second and third I already wrote the complete Afghanistan Center for Dispute Resolution, Commercial Dispute Resolution, so I don't have to write it again. But if it's the first time you write it, please write it incomplete. I don't do it because I want to save space and wording. ACDR is very young and needs lots of professional staff, arbitrators, mediators, and counselors on commerce and business law to be able to eliminate the overload of cases from the commercial courts and provide cost-effective, fast, transparent, and corruption-free commercial dispute resolution. Okay. So these are actually like explanations of our center. I normally, when I go to new places to describe ACDR or explain what we are doing, this is normally what we do, that I always have it in my brain. For viewers, if you don't really know what to talk about the organization where you work, it's good to do a little research to see what are the activities, do a little research and find the vision and mission of the organization that you work. Okay, that was something that I said we are doing. I want to say I am doing as a young leader in the legal community. Arbitration and commercial dispute resolution. I don't have to write this because legal community covers whatever I wrote above. As a young leader in legal community, I put a comma here. I help to reduce. I help. I don't have to say I helped. I help to reduce the caseload on the commercial courts of Afghanistan. Of the commercial courts of Afghanistan. Even if the grammar is wrong, never mind. We do a lot of checking. Final check. I need to learn more and be able to remove this caseload. I don't have to say the caseload. I said the caseload to attract foreign and domestic investment. To be able to remove caseload and to attract foreign and domestic investment in Afghanistan. The UK government is also helping to reduce the caseload on promote ADR in Afghanistan and to attract foreign and domestic investment in Afghanistan. Alike, the UK government foreign policy on promotion of ADR in Afghanistan. So this is much better, but it's not the best. So this is good. I'm happy with it for now. Okay, Afghanistan's development and security depends on sustainable economic ties with international community and in Afghanistan relies on international donors, international community and foreign investment. Peace and development are the only ways forward for any post country like Afghanistan. Okay, this is very good. I still connect this with the first paragraph. Okay. Foreign and domestic investors and entrepreneurs, distastes commercial courts of Afghanistan. The state's commercial courts of Afghanistan for the reasons of corruption, time consumption, high costs, and other problems. And I can say and other transparency problems. This results in zero's interest, not zero's interest. This results in zero interest in zero interest in investment. The field I have selected, I say maybe selected, is the crucial profession for development of the economy, attraction of investment and development, attraction of foreign investment and development of peace in Afghanistan. This is also good. There is a tremendous need to build up government capacity to implement and enforce the country's commercial business WTO and help commercial and business reforms. Okay, there's a little problem with the grammar in the sentence. Capacity to implement and enforce the country's commercial business WTO and WTO reforms. I don't have to write that, repeat the same thing. Afghanistan lacks expertise and the government is recruiting foreign advisors to construct the regulators and train the private sector on how to adhere to WTO commercial arbitration. Okay, this is good. At the ACDR, now I talk, as you know, already explained, I talk to give explanation about my work, so that to go to the point about my short-term goal. I'm working to develop capacity of the mediators, arbitrators, legal counselors, and business sector and ADR investments. My aim is to serve my government and use my skills in creating and developing policies, regulations, and relations that secure development programs and attract foreign investment upon my return. Okay, this is, I didn't exactly use the word short term here, but you can if you want, for short term, you can say for short term, for short-term goals, my aim is for short-term goals. My aim is to serve my government and doing this thing exactly. and then maybe as we explained above here, that you can talk about, like, my short-term goals is keep Chevening network. If you don't have much things to say, you can say keep networking and initiate new ideas, keep writing, holding free workshops, anything. This is something I can maybe also say upon my return. I will also continue with my moot court for new generation of international lawyers. So I can do more explanation to say that, okay, upon your return in the next 5 years, what we will be doing. Okay, my long-term goal is to work for the alternative. So now, as we said, short-term and long-term. So the long-term, lack of arbitration. So it's good to talk about these problems and then say what it is. So I will consider these things maybe in my conclusion as well to talk about these. But still, I have to see here, okay, short-term goals and long-term goals. What is the long-term goal? My long-term goal, this is our long-term goal. I want to highlight to find the part that we talk about this. Goal is to work for alternative dispute resolution, Great Afghanistan Chamber of Commerce, industries, ministries of justice, commerce, and later in higher positions and the executive. So I want to change the wording. And later, I don't say higher, say in senior Afghan government official. As a senior Afghan government official, advising the government, advising the central government, the High Council of Economics, and work for Afghanistan related international projects like TOPI and etc. I don't have to say TOPI, XXX and others. So this is a good one. That now I want to talk about important places that I want to work. So these are all positions that I consider working for. Advising the several government, these places are other important, and then these other projects that I have. So this is a good long-term goal that you say. And then we continue. I love to work for the public. I love to work for the public or the government sector and initiation of investment projects like INAC and Hajigak mining, as they are pending for so many years. This is another thing that you can say. This is also, I would say that I can highlight this in green, and reason is because I think this can be also a short-term and a long-term goal. Why? Because you can immediately upon your return for projects like this that had already started years ago, you can come and work on it. Because some projects, they last for 10 years. If you keep this in your longer terms, this project may not be there in 20 years. It will be already completed. So that's why you can, like, merge them and think about both long-term and short-term goals at the same time, if they are overlapping. And then in the I think I will move this there. In the UK, I will exchange cultural experiences. and will do so upon my return. An L.L.M in commerce, a degree in commerce and trade law will help me achieve academic, career and professional goals to work in this field in line with the UK's plans for economic developments in Afghanistan under these projects, okay, and organizations that they are working here. Then I talk about this long-term goals that we had. The first thing is lack of books. I want to talk about it. Writing books and articles and these things. Lack of professors pursuing a PhD. This is so many people write it. I don't want to write about PhD because that's not something I am looking for currently, and I don't have any concrete plans for this. Lack of practical law programs. This is a good thing. Maybe I will talk about it, about this. So say we lack books and authors in this new field in local languages. My professional goals are to be a pioneer in developing this field in my country by writing articles, books and research papers. I'll be writing this. I think I can write in the above parts, and I didn't find a very good part which would be, you know, interesting part for me to write. But I think this is the best place where I also wrote in my original paper. I have publications and have written 5 articles on commercial law, arbitration and ADR. Oops. And ADR. Here I put the link. This is important to show that I have written this. And I have, again, I would like to emphasize immediate plans to write books on trade, write books and articles on trade, commercial law, commercial arbitration, in the context of Afghanistan in local languages, so that other students do not face the same problems I face today. Okay, I talk also about the problems, and I think in here we have to, when we write about the problems here, okay, in this part we have to say that in here we would add, currently there are many challenges to be resolved, both, and I am looking to learn to be able to work for them upon my return, both in short and long term periods. The wording is not good. Don't worry about the wording, okay? So that's what we want to do. There is, for example, there is lack of books in X and X fields. There is lack of professors, experts, and etc. The reason why I wrote this directly in the conclusion and here is because I talked about them in my other videos as well. I don't want to exactly say what are the problems, what are the lacks. If you watch my other videos, which I highly recommend you to watch, you will find out why I am talking or referring to these words, these problems, because I already talked about it. I'm just pinpointing them here without giving more explanations. Lack of books, lack of professors, experts. What else did we talk about here? The problems that we had. Peace, sustainable development, and attracting foreign investment. Okay, I write here experts, etc. There is also no trust in the state courts, and there is no transparency, and the government has no sustainable development goals. So this paragraph needs a little bit more work, which I will do maybe in the next video, because this video is getting longer, or I will share the final one with you if I don't have any other part for this. So this is how you write all the parts and conclude them. This is pretty much it. I think if I compare it with the paper I submitted, it is around 85% similar to what I have written, or 90%. There's only 10% difference with regard to the name of the articles that I have not written, and the organization that I did not have it, and a few sentences. So this is it. I want to end this video actually here, and the reason is that longer videos has problem getting uploaded on the Facebook, on the YouTube. So this has been a very good video in my belief. We went through everything, almost all the important areas to be covered in the fourth question. So nothing is left so far. I just want to emphasize on one more thing, that try to do a brainstorm, try to think about what are the activities in the foreign policy of the UK toward your country. By working and finding the foreign policy of the UK in your country, you will be able to find what the UK is doing in your country and relate the field of study and your future career goals in line with those policies of the UK to your country. That can be a policy toward a specific field, your country, region, or maybe at the whole continent. Then you say, okay, the UK is working for these kind of projects or causes or activities in my country, and this is something that I am studying. I would like to work for this cause, and if the UK is spending money on these projects, it's good if you help the UK policy that by spending the same money they can achieve better results, so that both the people get the help and also the UK government is happy with the result or impact of their projects or activities. And also do a research on the activities of your own country, whatever you are doing, whatever is happening in your country. Try to be aware of the future plans in your country, what the government announces that they want to do in the next 10 years or 20 years, so that you say, okay, I want to study this field because the government has a plan that in 20 years they will build this big project or big cause or organization or anything, and you want to be a part of it. This is how you can write a winning essay. I hope it had helped you so far. I am getting a lot of questions from friends and people watching my videos in the Facebook group here. A lot of them are asking for my personal phone number. I'm sorry that I cannot share it with you. A lot of you are asking me to review your essays. I appreciate that you trust me, that you share me your private personal statement. I normally say that, well, I can do it, but it takes time, and then people are emailing me and then requesting me to respond them immediately, which I cannot do it. It takes time to read them and provide my comments. I hope you consider all these situations. I wish you best of luck with your application. If you have any question or something, you can write in the comments below to tell me that you have that specific question and you want me to make a video or something on it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and give a thumbs up so that it encourages me that you like the video, and I should continue doing the same thing. Otherwise, I have to change the method I am presenting to you. Have a wonderful application. Wish you best of luck with your application, and wish to see you one day here in the UK or somewhere.